Are Nissan's radiators any good? Nissan's is a radiator company from Denmark. I was asked this question by one of our subscribers if they're actually any good, because some people have reported having some bad experiences with them and some people have reported that they're just fine. So I'm going to give you the scoop on Nissan's radiators and whether or not they're any good. So if you have a 300D turbo or 300SD or a 240D or a 190E or 190D, really your only option right now is a Nissan's radiator. On some cars where Nissan's radiators are an option to a Mercedes radiator, you do kind of sort of have some leeway there. Like they might represent a cheaper price than, say, buying a radiator outright for a 126 V8 car. But there are certain pros about the Nissan's radiators and certain cons about the Mercedes radiators that we're going to discuss. So first and foremost, Nissan's are made in Denmark. They're not made in China. And I like that because Nissan's is a big company. They provide a lot of revenue to the Danish economy. Danish products are typically very high quality. Where Nissan's, I think, fails is in some of the engineering and efficiency models that the bare radiators that they replace often excelled. For example, if I take a 240D with a Nissan's radiator and a 240D with a bare radiator, the 240D with the bare radiator is going to run about 5 to 7 degrees cooler. The bare radiator is going to give you an 81 to 82 degree operating temperature if all other things are working right. The Nissan's is going to give you an 87 to 90 degree temperature on like a hot day with no air conditioning. And it's probably because the Nissan's core is a little heavier and it's probably doesn't hold quite as much coolant or doesn't flow as well. I haven't figured it out. Another problem with Nissan's radiators is that on cars that run consistently hot, they do deteriorate. So this happened on my mom's 420 SEL. My mom has a 420 SEL that always ran hot, and we didn't understand where the problem was until we got the fan clutch filled up with oil. Well, during these 8 or 9 years, she had a Nissan's radiator, which basically melted. And when I was doing a coolant service on it, the bleed nipple just broke off. Granted, this is on an 8 or 9 year old radiator, but bare radiators in the 560 and 420 models would last for 30 years. So do I see this as a good thing, you know, that they got 8 or 9 years out of it? Well, it's an easy radiator to change. It's not that expensive, so why not? But I would prefer a radiator that actually gets the job done. And in my mom's car, I actually put in a used Mercedes radiator, and it worked just fine. Now, going back to the other differences, there's of course the difference of price. A bare radiator was usually 30 or 40% more than a Nissan's. Now I think a Nissan's radiator is about 50% of the cost of a bare radiator, and if you get one from Mercedes, don't even ask. It's like a fraction, a quarter of the price. So I do like the pricing model. Within the period of time that one Mercedes radiator lasts, you have the financial leeway to replace about 4 Nissan's radiators if you're doing the work yourself. I have a Nissan's radiator in my 300 TD wagon, and you know, ultimately I would prefer an OEM bare radiator, not an Indian-made bare radiator, which is your other alternative for that car, but a real NOS radiator. And that car runs about 88 degrees with the Nissan's radiator, which is fine. You know, that's okay. But I think that a Nissan's radiator is generally is generally going to perform under most circumstances as well as the bare. For example, the car's not going to overheat with the Nissan's, even if you're in stop and go traffic. And this is a big deal because in Florida, especially, the air is always on at this time of year. I mean, I think it's 113 degrees today. All of us are like losing our mind because it's so freaking hot. And you go to the gas pump and fill up at $5.68 a gallon for diesel. And you go to the grocery store and you try to find, you know, even at Walmart, like a carton of eggs is around $3 right now. It's just getting to be really crazy. So, basically things are just getting a little crazy here in the middle of the summer. And there's not a cloud in the sky either. If you look outside, if you're in Florida today on June the 15th, there's just nothing going on. Okay, anyway, please like, share, and subscribe. Tap the bell for notifications. We'll talk to you in the future. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment below if you have a Nissan's radiator.